All right, this is the start of a sentimental journey, and we have squadron leader Jim starting his B-17 with Mr. RC sound system on board, and he'll be going out with Tim and his Corvair behind here, and over to the right we're going to have Rick with his silver B-17 and Tony with his 1100 millimeter Roche's Frankie P51. So Jim leading the group, and he's going to be closely followed by looks like Rick is going to pull his B-17, the silver B-17 in, and then Tim with his Corvair. Now it looks like it's going to be Tony. They're racing to get into third place. All right, Tony won the race. Tim will pull up the rear with his Corvair. All right, looks like there's going to be a flight of 4 with 2 B-17s and 2 little friends to fly high cover, escort. And we'll kind of walk out here on the taxiway and follow them out to the main runway for takeoff. All right, the 4 pilots are getting close to the runway, and I have a feeling that Jim will shut down and they'll check the pattern to see if it's clear to go out. Okay, the 4 aircraft are holding short of the runway, and Jim is asking whether it's okay to go out. And it looks like he's gotten permission to go out, and he's leading the flight of 4 out onto the runway where they'll be setting up for takeoff here in just a moment. All right, Jim is calling 5 minutes for leadership, and his B-17 is rolling. And he's airborne. Rick is airborne right behind him. And looks like Tony off to the left, and Tim is just clearing the runway. Okay, all 4 aircraft are turning on to downwind, and that's kind of a nice little formation there. It looks like a 5th aircraft and now a 6th aircraft is joining the group. Can't tell. I don't know if that a Stuka. I'm not sure. Yeah. It looks like a German enemy has got in here trying to pick off some stragglers. But anyway, here comes the formation.
Do a low pass. Gauge our speeds and we'll be all set. Here we go. Coming around.
And somehow we got a jet streaking right through the group.
That must be the ME-262.
We got a real fast jet flying overhead. I don't think that's an ME-262, but the gunners better be prepared for a fast attack if it is. All right, here we come on the upwind leg over the center of the runway, and Jim with Ferocious Frankie and the Corvair right up above. And Jim is turning left, and the 2 little friends are following him around. Looks like Rick is coming into the group.
I definitely don't have enough elevation.
And we'll kind of follow the 3 lead ships, and hopefully Rick will catch up to the group here in just a second.
Actually, dude, I want to land right now. Is that you on the end? Yeah. I'm gonna land. Yeah, you're clear.
Okay, here comes Jim in B-17 with Mr. RC Sound on board. Looking good, guys, looking good. And we've got 3 fighters escorting Jim.
Tony with the flaps down. Yeah, he's following me right now. Yeah, I'm too fast for Jim. I gotta
As you can hear, Tony has put his flaps down in order to slow his airspeed down so he can keep up with our squadron leader Jim in the B-17. And it looks like he's managed to get an even speed. All right, they're coming around again. B-17 low with the P-51 up high off its left wing, and the Corsair right out here in front off the right wing.
guys.
Someone had just called for takeoff.
Yeah, I'm swinging out wide just to lead off the main.
Okay, it looks like the Stuka has just come in into the formation here. Our 3 aircraft are coming around, and I think that's an FW out in front. So we got a couple of Huns hunting our boys. I know the gunners are going to keep their eye on those two German fighters. We don't want them getting too close. Our boys around. Jim kind of in the low with Tony off his left wing, and of course they're here a little bit out in front, and both Tony and Jim are doing a nice low pass with the Corsair above, and Tony has done a nice little echelon rollout to kind of get back on Jim's tail, and he's pulling up real quick. The 3 groups, 1 B-17, P-51, and a Corsair are making a check, and I think I just heard Jim call for a gear pass, so he'll be dropping his landing gear here, and there his gears are coming down, so he's going around. Looks like I see Tony's gears are also down.
Hey, we got flight of 4 landing right before.
Okay.
Right after.
I kind of think Jim is going to be first to land, and he'll probably call out where he is on the runway. And we'll kind of listen here if we can see what the pilots are discussing. Okay. All right. Misapproach. Tony has pulled his landing gears up and going around. Jim is just about touching down, and Jim is down. And it looks like Tim just got down, but safely.
I'm all the way to the end.
In the Corsair. Okay, Jim had just called that his B-17 is long, and it looks like Rick is just now landing. Nice job there, Rick. And Tony is going around again. He's kind of letting the bombers come down because they're probably lowest. They're low on fuel, and Tony will be making an approach here, and we're going to kind of pan over here and get his approach.
F-22, you need to land? No.
Okay, here's Tony coming down, and the typical great landing from Tony, call sign X-plane guy, has just landed his P-51, and all 4 of our aircraft are recovered, and Tony, I can see, has just now taxied over to the taxiway. Tim is already there with his Corsair, and Rick and Jim are going to be pulling their B-17s in line for the taxi back to the tarmac. We'll get over here close and see if we can get a close-up of Jim. Jim has shut his motors down, so we're going to get over and see if we can do a close-up and his engines are now starting up on the Mr. RC Sound. German fighters that was up there harassing our group is pulling into line here. Alright, the 4 aircraft are coming up on the tarmac here. They'll be turning right and going down to get lined up for engine shutdown. We will kind of follow them in here on the taxiway. There, Tim turning, now Tony in the P-51, followed by Rick in his silver 17, and Jim in his B-17. Jim, by the way, has well over 1,500 flights on his aircraft, so it's what we would call a very seasoned old veteran. I think you can hear the Mr. RC sound engines, and kind of pan up here and see if we can pick up the other group as they taxi. Tim is taxi. Looks like they're going to be coming to the front yellow line for shutdown, and Tim is waiting in line, and Rick is just about turning up now to pull up alongside of Tim's Corsair, and Rick will be pulling his ship up alongside of Tony's Ferocious Frankie, and there he's making a turn to come up on the line. And we have Jim and Mad Hatter in his B-17, and he's just about pulled up on line. And there's a lineup of 4 aircraft, all home safely. All right, engines are just now shutting down, and that was a successful sortie. All planes returned safely, and we're going to say that we hope that everybody had a sentimental journey as we close out of this session of the video. We're going to pan on back here and watch aircraft being taken back for batteries to be unattached and aircraft to be placed out of the sun. All right, that's all for now. Congratulations to all pilots in the squadron, and we will say I hope everybody had a